So yeah, I started playing, and it's got a lot of like trolley backlash, mostly from people playing on PlayStation because Microsoft was like, "Screw you, PlayStation. Bethesda's owned by Microsoft now, and you're only going to play on Xbox or PC." A lot of people didn't like that, and a lot of people had to go out and get new PCs because it's a pretty expansive, powerful game to run. Now that aside, I don't know. I'm just like, it's a great game. Like you can, number one, you start off like Skyrim and then you just go, bro. It's like,
it's open galaxy, right?
It's open galaxy, and people are going to complain that they're going to say like, well, it's not really open because like there's loading screens between planets. And I'm like, bro, like you can't have both things. You can't have you can't have Skyrim that's literally an entire continent, and you can point to a position on the map and say, I could stand on that mountain. And you can in Skyrim. You can go there, right? The problem is you can't do a space exploration game like that because you can't map out 1,000 planets.
Yeah, it's just logistically it's just impossible, right?
It's impossible.
Engine, yeah, unless you simulate the entire universe, right?
In this case, the galaxy, right?
Yeah. Like,
people hate the fact that they can't fly on the planets. You have to actually go through a loading screen to do that. But to me, you're missing the point of an RPG. But like, Bethesda games, before they're anything, are RPGs, right? The point of the game is to level up your character.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't think you should define points of a game, right? I think that's what a person can define their own version of that, right?
But there's limits, right? Like, every game has limits. In Mortal Kombat, you can't go explore.
Yeah, but your objective function might be different from mine. You might be like, hey, I'm going to optimize getting good at this one character, whereas I'm just going to be a casual game.
Yeah.
Just playing. Like, there's different ways to play it.
But don't you think Bethesda games are casual player friendly? There's no like.
Well, I mean, I understand. I understand the. I think the objective functions for the people who complaining about the open worlds, because that was the selling point for them. Like, you can do that, right? You can explore every pixel on the map.
In Skyrim, you can do that, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was their objective function.
I see.
Like, I want to explore deeply and intimately. Whereas, like...
I would say to them, you can't do that in space. Not yet.
Yeah, logistically, it doesn't make sense. Well, there are games called No Man's Sky, which you can literally fly your...
And you can land on any part of a planet,
You can land on any planet, yeah. I don't know if
the planet has to be smaller than normal.
Yeah, I think so. They're much smaller. Yeah.
Like, you have to mess with physics and sizes of planets, right?
Yeah, I think you literally see the curvature of, like,
right.
Yeah, it's not like...
So, yeah, there's always limitations is my point, right?
Yeah.
And Bethesda decided to focus more on the RPG than the other parts, the exploration and I think that's okay. It's just, this game's not going to be for everyone. And if you're okay with story-driven, like an adventure... That's what it is. It's the exploration's an underscore of everything else. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the gameplay first. It's like the fighting, the main story, the quests that are built out by the writers. Like, that's the main selling point of this game. Mm-hmm. And if you keep that in mind, it's really fun. Like, you can still do space battles. You can still fly your ship around. You can still, experience all the different characters and how you can converse with them, and you can even marry characters, and there's all these cool things you can do, right? Shipbuilding is hours of fun. Mm-hmm. Is it as good as Skyrim? In my opinion, so far, no. But I've only started playing it, right? I can't give it a fair assessment. I haven't modded it. I haven't done anything. I will admit I do use the console commands, because if I'm going to say I want to modify my gun, I want to put a scope on it, and it's like, oh, you need to go find 5 iron, 6 chlorosalinides. Right. I'm not going to go out and farm 7 planets for that shit.
Right. The grind of the game. You don't want to. So for you, the grind of the game isn't the point. It's like the capabilities of what you can do and
achieve. Yeah.
It's more about the features instead of.
It's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
Bethesda games for me are like watching a movie that I interact with.
Like hyper casual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not this intense action thing, or
if I want to get involved in stuff like that, I'll play CSGO, or I'll play World of Warcraft, or I'll play, games that are more oriented towards, I wouldn't say skill, but
it's skill. It
yeah.
It is skill. Yeah. It's more like it's a craft at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Jason our boss plays on easy mode because he doesn't care. He just wants to have a good time. You know,
I think you guys both have the same objective function for a game.
Similar. His is a little more liberal than mine, but yeah, like I still like a little bit of a challenge when I'm fighting monsters and stuff, or fighting bad guys and ship battles and stuff like that. I don't want to be like blowing people up out of like, you know, I don't want to be God, but I also don't want to like toil. Like life's hard enough. Like you shouldn't have to toil in video games.
That's what it is for me, I think. After a certain point in my life, I became I'm more towards our boss. Like my skills went down, and everyone either went up or just gaming got harder.
Yeah,
and I can't do things in normal mode. I feel like just too much. Yeah, like it's the coordination. There's no plasticity there anymore.
Yeah. I think I can still do normal mode because I'm not a dad yet. Maybe when I'm a dad, I'll be like easy mode.
Yeah, I was talking to another dad the other day, and he plays like old school games.
Yeah,
like he has emulators and he plays with them.
Yeah,
and that seems fun because like the muscle memory might still be there for that.
Yeah, and your kids can get involved with that too. They can play Super Mario with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like simple games, I'm down for. But if you're going to tell me to move in a 3D world where like I have to quickly shoot a guy's head or I'm dead, I can't do. Like Counter-Strike, I can't do first-person shooters.
The kids playing Counter-Strike are so good. Like
it looks like back in the day, I would have called them like the
hackers.
Yeah, hackers.
Yeah,
right? But everyone's at that level now.
Yeah,
like, they can just
some of them are hackers, but still, like,
but for the most part, they can just do headshots.
Yeah,
like 4 pixels by 4 pixels, just kind of thing, and you just.
Like I would consider myself a very average CS:GO player, but even that, moving into Starfield, is like I'm like headshotting everybody because it's the AI is pretty dumb, so it's just
but you're still able to headshot, right?
Yeah,
still able to. I have to like.
But it's like dude, I can't recommend it more. I think Bethesda did a great job. I think that there are things that need to be fixed. I think land vehicles not being in the game was stupid. I think.
What's your review? Out of 10?
7.5.
7.5.